I love when people say I'm crazy. Of course I'm crazy. That's the common denominator in all the geniuses that have ever lived. They were all told that they were crazy. So yes, I am batshit crazy. I'm also a Gemini. I love being a Gemini. I seriously just think that everyone should start being a little bit more crazy. It's okay to be crazy. Every single one of the biggest geniuses in the world were crazy. Be crazy. Believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. Go do everything that everyone says not to do. Be crazy.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. You know, this woman in this video right here, guys, something tells me that she's not actually a genius, okay? The amount of women that come on TikTok and they think that they are, you know, the Lord's gift to the planet because they view things differently is really not surprising to anyone, considering the amounts of attention they receive online for literally nothing. But on today's episode, guys, we have a couple of videos from this woman right here who has some opinions about equality, some opinions about dating. Hell, before I even get into the video, guys, before I even jump into the clips, you know what I might do? I might show you guys just a snapshot from her Instagram first, so you guys can sort of see what we're dealing with here. So this is the individual in question who says, you know, she's a genius, but, you know, I can only show you this portion of the Instagram because if I scroll up or down, it becomes too not safe for work. Okay, and again, guys, these are the same women complaining about objectification, about equal rights, literally doing whatever the hell they want and failing to see the irony of it. So let's jump into this first video here. Once again, guys, going to remind you that this is a self-proclaimed genius and not a crazy person. Well, no, she says she's crazy, but she also says she's a genius. So let's take a listen to this clip. As always, guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments, and let's jump right into it.
If you're gonna diminish the argument of equal rights between men and women based on you paying or not a date, being like, oh my God, if I'm gonna pay the date, then why do you guys want equality? If you're gonna diminish human rights and equality to paying or not a date, I would recommend a lobotomy. I think it's a great idea for you. I think it would help you a lot. I think you truly need it. Start by a psychiatrist, but I think that definitely you just need a lobotomy at this point. Thank you.
Have you guys ever noticed when you bring up these discussions as a man, you know, the whole equal pay crap or paying on the date, these girls will always get very mad about it, right? They'll always get frustrated and angry. They'll call you, you know, a misogynist, whatever else, okay? But they never actually have a counter for it. Notice how this woman's counter is that we should apparently seek a lobotomy because we don't know anything, right? And guys, it's amazing to me how we have these individuals here recording with smartphones, face full of makeup, you know, tattoos, necklaces, all the rest of it, complaining about equality and equality, you know, like they don't have equal rights or they don't have equal pay. Women have had equal rights and have had in excess of men equal, you know, equal rights for a very long period of time. Guys, this is something that we talk about endlessly here on the channel. A woman can literally end the relationship and take you for everything, including your children, because she feels like it. She literally doesn't even need a reason, guys. She can just file for irreconcilable differences, or the government will view you guys as a common law marriage because you've been together long enough. And here we have women in 2022 complaining about equal rights. But let's give this a quick run through and we'll address her points one at a time, and then we'll jump into the next video that she has lined up for us.
If you're gonna diminish the argument of equal rights between men and women based on you paying or not a
So first of all, what equal rights? What rights do, you know, do women have? Like, what do women not have in terms of rights? They can never actually list anything, guys. This is why it's straight to, you know, character attacks or calling you an ISL or a misogynist or going out here and telling you that you need to get a lobotomy. It's because they have actually nothing to say. the only rebuttal is, oh, men aren't paying for me, men aren't having relationships with me, men aren't doing insert whatever behavior for me or with me, then I just need to insult them and try and shame them into doing it. You know, girls would have a lot more success. Here's the beautiful part about the situation that these women don't seem to understand. They would have a lot more success getting money out of men if they were actually kind people. You know, like you don't need to manipulate a guy and do all this different crap and wear 30 pounds of makeup. You just have to be a genuine person, and a lot of guys will be happy to invest in you and spend time with you. This is something that's been so lost, guys. Like, we've got so much fake eyelashes, fake tan, fake hair, you know, fake body parts, okay, all of these different things that women do in order to get attention from men. That's really, it really is. And all it boils down to is perhaps you should be a nice person and men will invest in you in the first place.
Date, being like, oh my God, if I'm going to pay the date, then why do you guys want equality? If you're going to diminish.
See, it's always about equality, guys, until the bill comes. It's always about equality until a battle starts. It's all about equality until women don't want to do something. And then all of a sudden the men have to step up. You guys notice with this recent situation, shall we say, okay? All of the men stayed behind. All of the women were allowed to leave. All of the children were allowed to leave. There are, you know, the people who are left remaining in said country. I can't even talk about this on YouTube. How crazy is that? The people, excuse me, that are left there are the men. There's no equality when things get serious. There's no equality when these modern women don't want to do something. It's all, okay, man has to pay, or else man requires a lobotomy and he should go to a psychiatrist. Isn't that amazing, guys? Because even if you're a guy and you're, let's just say, right, you're financially well off, you know, you don't really stress about money, maybe you own your own home, you've worked your life, okay, you put in the hard yards, the hours, and you're a guy who's well off, okay? Even if you're a guy who's well and truly happy to pay for the date because you do not care, because money doesn't really matter to you, why would you pay for a date with a woman like this? That's the question. It's not that men like are cheap or men are intimidated by you. It's just, why would men invest in you is the question. You know, it's not like a lot of these guys have a lack of resources or the inability to do something, because even the guys who have everything, their lives in order, they just don't want to deal with you because you're a headache. It has nothing to actually do with the price of the dinner or whatever the case may be.
Human rights and equality to paying or not a date. I would recommend.
I love how they go women's rights and then they try and like lump it in with human rights as if we aren't talking about men being expected to pay your half as well. You ever notice how when these girls talk about equality, they always try and lump themselves in with with other like oppressed people, right, quote unquote? They always try and lump themselves in. It's like, oh yeah, you know, this group, that group, and also women, as if you're some you know, you're some minority. Women are not a minority. It's amazing, guys. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, human rights, by the way, this rights, and also women. It's like, wait a minute, hold up. Women have every single damn right. You can go out there, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Okay, as long as you're not harming other people, you can do the same things that a man can do.
A lobotomy. I think it's a great idea for you. I think it would help you a lot.
The shaming comes in. This reminds me of like the shaming language when men don't want to enter into relationships. So we hear this sort of stuff of like, oh, you must not be grown up, or I suggest that you grow up and get a real, you know, a real man would step up to the plate, okay? And I hear all of this different kinds of language, guys, and to me it's nothing more than ineffective shaming. Because the dudes who understand, the dudes who get it, will just look at this and go, yeah, no, sorry, doesn't work on me anymore. I'm not interested. Maybe it would have worked on me when I was younger, or I didn't really know what was going on, but all of this shaming language, it effectively means nothing. Because what it really is a cry for help. It's a cry for, wait a minute, men are not paying dates. Excuse me, men are not interested in being chivalrous anymore. Then I need to try and shame them into doing it, because they can't provide you a logical reason to do it. You can't sit down and go, well, you know what, guys, you should go out here and you should pay for the dates for these women, right? And they can't logically give you reasons why. So they say that you require a lobotomy and you need to see a psychiatrist if you don't pay for them, right? And that's the problem. A lot of guys are looking at this and like, yeah, what's the point of paying for the date with the women in the first place when if they're actually into you, they don't require some dinner date? Like, they really don't.
I think you truly need it. Start by a psychiatrist, but I think that definitely you just need a lobotomy at this point.
Yeah, guys. So, you know, you need some sort of mental reconstruction if you don't want to, if you're not interested in, if you're someone who agrees with the notion of equality, guys, and you want to go out here and say, yes, I agree, equal rights, you can pay your half of the bill, then apparently you need a lobotomy, right? You need to go see a psychiatrist. And my thing has always been this, guys, okay? Dates, for the most part, are really just a waste of time for men. Number one, because men get used. They go out here and they have dates with women, and a lot of the women will just use them for food or free attention or whatever the case may be. That's number one. Number two, if a girl's really interested in you, she doesn't require a date from you. I brought this up before, guys, but if you guys have seen, you know, the rather famous, or the people here on YouTube who do fitness content, the dudes who are jacked out of their mind, who are incredibly attractive and stuff like this, these men, do you think that they really have to go out and take women on, you know, dinner dates and stuff like that and show how invested they are? Of course not. The same women that will require a dinner date from a man are the same women that will go to some dude's house at 3 a.m. on a Wednesday when she has work at 6 in the morning because that's the one time that she can see him and she's really attracted to him. Same girl, different person, realistically. Now let's jump into this next clip here, guys, and I actually might agree with this woman here. She's going to be talking to us about red flags. So we'll see if I actually agree with this video or not. Let's jump in. And as always, guys, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments as we go through these videos. It's always interesting to see what you guys have to say. And plenty of times when I cover stories or TikToks, there are things that I miss when we do the videos that you guys pull me up for in the comments, which I'm very grateful for. So feel free to do that. And let's continue.
Leave after the first red flag. It's the best advice that I can ever give. Leave after the first red flag. Yes, people are not perfect and they make mistakes, but the difference between that and a red flag is that the red flag, we take no accountability for it. The first red flag, we're out. People who take no accountability for their actions, out, honey. They're showing who you are. Red flags are there for you to get out.
Now, here's the thing. I actually agree with this woman. I think that if you're a dude and or just a person and you're choosing to go out there and date in 2022, number one, best of luck to you. Number two, if you're going out there to do that, you should absolutely not ignore red flags. My question is, for all these girls who are like, man, I know my self-worth, I ain't gonna put up with no a-hole, I'm not gonna put up with a guy, the first red flag he exhibits. Number one, she probably does put up with the red flags. Like, this is advice that I see women give to each other, and then they just completely ignore it themselves in a lot of instances. Like, have you guys seen, this always happens, man. You'll have a girl who's seeing a guy, she can't get commitment from him, whatever the case may be, and all of her friends will be sitting there saying, oh, you should ditch him, you should go find another man, and she just sits there, she doesn't have a relationship out of him, she doesn't have anything, she doesn't have commitment, but she will continue to see that guy because she's attracted to him and ignore the other friend's advice. How many times have you guys seen that, guys? Like, women, when they're attracted to a guy, when they view a guy as quote-unquote high enough quality, they don't even need monogamy from him in order to chase him to the ends of the earth. Really not a requirement.
The more you let red flags go, the more people are like, oh, you know that saying that it's like give him a hand and they grab like all the way to the shoulder? That's what you're doing. Don't let red flags go. Leave on the first red flag. Yes, you're going to be single for longer. You're also going to be without bullshit for longer and happier for longer.
I'm going to have to pause you there, okay? She says you're going to be single for longer. Guys, I've always viewed it like this. If a girl gets to like, the older a woman gets and the longer she doesn't have a relationship, the bigger of a red flag it is. Okay? Because the question becomes, what have you been doing all this time? Like, what have you been doing? If you've been chasing dudes this entire time, you know, having your fun, that's cool. But number one, don't expect a relationship. And number two, don't expect any form of commitment. Okay? Like, that's what you sacrifice. If you want to go out there and chase dudes until you're 28 and fail to get commitment, good luck to you. That was your choice. You made it. You made the bed. You can lie in it, okay? For men, it's different, and I'll tell you guys why. The reason why it's different for men, let's just say you're a dude and you haven't had a relationship until you're like 30 years of age or, you know, late 20s before you've had something serious. In a lot of these situations, it's because men aren't even viewed as valuable until they reach older ages, perhaps where they built a physique, right? Because you can have a dude who's like 19 years of age, nobody gives a crap about him, okay, he doesn't look the best. That guy can turn into a monster by the time he's 30, and now he's attractive. But nobody gave a crap about him when he was 19, when he had no money, when he didn't look very good. Women, when they get to 30 years of age and they still have no man, what on earth have you been doing for the last over a decade? That's the question. What have you been doing this entire time?
It's better to spend more time looking for the right, not even looking, but just like letting life give you the right person and loving.
What does that even mean, bro? What does that mean? I'm gonna play that back. That's crazy.
And more time looking for the right, not even looking, but just like letting life give you the right person and loving yourself and setting boundaries.
I swear, guys, only like modern women can get away with saying crap like that. You know, letting life give you the right person. Can you guys imagine if I sat on here, right, and I said to men, I'm like, you know, guys, don't worry about going to the gym. Don't worry about making money if you're interested in dating. These things do not matter. Girls don't care about how you look. It's all about letting the universe, the world, provide you with your dream partner. What on earth is that, bro? What on earth is that? I just love, guys. This is like the funniest part of these videos. Is when you're listening to it and you're like, okay, kind of makes sense. Yeah, avoid the red flags. You probably don't listen to the advice, but I can see what you're saying. It makes sense. And then you just get to the point in the video where it's like, yes, her chakras have aligned, guys, and she started to talk some absolute nonsense. I love it, man.
And being out there, like letting people play with you and disrespect you. No, love yourself, respect yourself. Look at the red flags and drop.
Yeah, and guys, that's the end of the clip right there. We're going to be jumping into a brief little Reddit story to wrap up today's episode. But I actually agree with those things that she said. You know, I'd say the same things to dudes, guys. If you're a man who's choosing to go out there, you're choosing to date, you cannot afford to to ignore red flags, because guess what? If you decide to, take something serious, that red flag is going to result in you losing your kids or your money or your assets or whatever the case may be. Like, these things can't be ignored. Maybe some other questionable things will happen to you, and it's just not a very good situation. So I do agree with her. My question is just, number one, does she take her own advice? Probably not. And number two, if a girl's like 28 years of age and she's all about love herself, she missed the opportunity to have a guy. What has she been doing the entire damn time? But guys, speaking of male privilege, okay, men who need a lobotomy, excuse me, let's look at this situation right here. We have a story. It's titled, "My Girlfriend Doesn't See the Problem." It says, my girlfriend, who is a 24-year-old female, and I am also 24, have dated for 2 years. Recently, she made some pretty quick plans to go to DC with a friend for a few days. During the trip, I noticed through some photos she sent that there were additional people on the trip. I was unaware, so asked about who all went with them. It doesn't say, this guy's English seems a little bit broken, so maybe he's not from America or something like that. Maybe he's from somewhere else, but he says, it was all members of her friend's family, including her friend's cousin, who my girlfriend has gotten with in the past. So this guy has a girlfriend, right, who is literally going on a trip with her quote-unquote friend, and one of the people who's going, which she fails to mention, is someone else who she's gotten with in the past. Absolutely not. He says, I explained to her that I would have appreciated being told that rather than have to find out by asking additional questions. I really only wanted a simple acknowledgement of the issue and an apology, and it would have been fine, as I do trust my girlfriend. However, instead I was told, I feel like you only bring that up if you didn't trust me, and yes, it's good to know, but I have enough trust and respect for you to know that nothing would happen. Her reaction honestly upset me more than the actual withholding of information, and I kind of feel like I was being gaslighted. Yes, my friend, you were absolutely being gaslighted. You see, this is the current situation, guys. When men have any legitimate concerns, whether that be to do with, relationships, okay, particular things like these, or things, very serious, like marriage laws and stuff like that, we're kind of gaslit, guys. We're kind of said to, go out there, do these things anyway. Oh, it's nothing, blah, blah, blah. So what if if your girlfriend has 10 guy friends, or all of these sorts of things. And society, at the same time as encouraging women to go out here and only seek the best queen, will also encourage men at the same time to stay in situations that do not benefit them. It is absolutely astounding, guys. You can always tell, right? You can always tell how likely a girl is to cheat, right? Because you can just, all it takes, right, is if you know that she has a boyfriend or something like that, You can look at her social media and you can look at the boyfriends and just compare how many photos they have on each other's timelines of them together. I swear to you guys, a lot of the modern women, you can tell, because what they'll do is they won't have any like relationship status or anything. They won't post their boyfriends on Instagram. Meanwhile, on the man's side of things, he posts her absolutely everywhere. And all of a sudden she's going on trips and we're supposed to expect that nothing happened at all. Yeah, okay, dude. Sure. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, guys, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments, guys. If you have any comments to make on any of the videos or the brief little story we just covered, feel free to do so, guys. What do you think about, you know, equal rights, guys? Do you think that women, it's time that they paid their half of the bill? Or let us know what you think in the comments. But we're going to be leaving it there. Make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.